Okay, just one second. I'm going to mute all because we are going to start in the webinar format. Thank you for joining this webinar. I believe you all joined up for the project manager. What is project manager, product owner, and Scrum Master? So today we are going to talk about who are they, how are they different, what roles should I include in my product or project. Just a short introduction. My name is Tianming Yuan. Yuan is my surname. My name is Tianming. You can call me Tianming. So I started my career as a senior police officer in Singapore. So I was a police officer in Singapore, and I do investigation work. So I investigate into crimes. So I handled death cases and many other different crimes. Yeah. So then I transitioned into data science. So I'm a data scientist as well and a agile coach. My favorite pastime is playing squash. So I like to play squash. Played squash in my university. I studied in Newcastle University, then Edinburgh University. Back here, I played in the UK as well as played in the Singapore National League. So if you ever come to Singapore or meet me up, we can have a game of squash or any other topic. Yeah, that's about me. So let's go into the webinar proper. So what I'm going to talk about today is, I'm going to start off from something that we are familiar with, project managers. I believe many of you here has gone through projects. You may be a project manager, you may be a member in a project team. Then I will introduce you to Agile, product owners, Scrum Masters, and I'll do a comparison between the three of them. How are they different, and what are their different roles in the product development? So in Agile, we talk about product, we don't talk about project. So in Waterfall, we talk about project. So the key difference is that product owners, Scrum Masters, they are in the Agile scope, in the sphere, Agile sphere. For project managers, they are in the traditional Waterfall sphere. And lastly, I'll talk about what's in for the future. But before I start this webinar proper, I wish to highlight three things. In this whole webinar, you can forget what I ever say, but you need to remember three things. I just want you to take away three things. One is the values of Agile and the house of Lean, which will be coming up later. And remember, the second point is Scrum Master is a servant leader. And the last point that I want you to bring back is product owners is a stand-in customer. You might not understand fully what I'm saying now, but remember these three things. This is the key message for this 1 hour. So if you're interested in going into Agile, take away these three things. So let's start from something that we are familiar with. What is a project? So the definition project by projectmanager.com is a project is a set of tasks which must be completed in order to arrive at a particular goal or outcome. So remember this definition. It is a set of tasks. So develop an app. We break down this project into set of tasks. So for example, I need to create a login button. I need to create the payment function. I need to create maybe the delivery options. So plan a garden is a project. Design a survey is a project. Car restoration is a project. So anything can be a project as long as it can be broken down into set of tasks, and you have a set of a particular goal to achieve once you finish this set of tasks. So this is something that we are familiar with, and I believe many of us operate in, and I operate in this sphere in the past. So I see project managers as Superman or Superwoman because they do everything. They do integration management, scope management, schedule management, cost management, quality management, all down the list. Basically, everything that the success of the project, I would say a big portion of the success of the project relies on the capability of this project manager. So looking at the graph on the right, you see from the bottom up, managing relationships, problem solving, scheduling, budgeting, assessing, documenting. So basically, project managers, they are really superhuman. They need to look over all aspects of the project to ensure that the project is for success. So this is the traditional waterfall process. So you'll be the blue thing is the water. So the water needs to flow from one direction to another direction, normally from the high ground to the lower ground. So always start from the analysis, design, then we implement the, maybe implement the code, then we test the code if you are a software developer, then we deploy. So what if at the design phase, we face some problem, then we cannot go into the implement phase. We need to go back to the design phase and sort things out. And at the implementation phase, you found some problems, some bugs, or at the testing phase, you face some bugs, and you cannot go into the deployment phase because it doesn't pass the test. Your clients or your company wouldn't allow you to go into deployment because there's bugs and that needs to be fixed. And this whole process may take quite long. So I've done waterfall projects. There's 9 months, 12 months. I believe someone here might have done it way longer, maybe 2 years, 3 years gone. And what happens is that because of this long process of development, companies or clients or situation change, the environment change, the needs of the client change. So I personally went through a 9-month project, and at the end of 9 months, there are still a lot of bugs. And we gave whatever that we have done to the client, and the client said, no, I'm not going to pay for this because things have changed. This is not what I need anymore. And besides, you are not giving me 100% of what I have requested at first. So the investment and the learning cycle of water project is very long, because you only learn at the end for waterfall project. So it's a one-way process. But the question for me is, can we learn faster? Can we implement faster? And can we give value incrementally? That's the main issue with waterfall. So let me introduce you to. So let me introduce you. Maybe any questions, I will answer that. I will answer that in at the end of the session. So maybe I will continue. So in Agile method, what is Agile? So Agile is a very big umbrella. And there's under Agile, there's Kanban, there's Scrum, there's extreme programming, there's feature-driven development, and many others. So, but we call all these Agile methods. So when someone asks you, what is Agile? You say Agile is a mindset governed by 12 principles. So I want you to remember this mindset, the 4 core values of Agile. So Kanban can be Agile, Scrum can be Agile, extreme programming can be Agile, but to go back to the basics, Agile actually in essence is a mindset, while Kanban, Scrum, extreme programming is a framework for like a best environment for you to practice Agile. What are the 4 core values of Agile? It's individuals and interactions over process and tools. So we value face-to-face interaction. We want people to communicate. So the more you communicate, the more you can understand the requirements better. So will it be better for you to communicate, let's say if there's Microsoft Teams, there's Zoom, rather than sending an email or using text? Because words, when you interpret text or words, it might not, how to say, get the full message across. So we value face-to-face interaction, and if there's any questions, ask and try to ask it as soon as possible. With the second point is working product over comprehensive documentation. So in the past, when I worked in a waterfall project, especially in my company, I spend a lot of time doing documentation admin work. But however, in Agile, we should focus on working product. That means getting the product to the clients and make sure that it's of quality is the #1 priority, not document your process, getting your administrative work done, setting up meetings. So the bulk of the focus should be making sure of the working product is of quality. And the third point is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This is a little bit tricky. So when it comes to contract negotiation, we want to take care of our interests. So we want to make sure that all the important clauses are in the contract. But however, we can still negotiate contracts with the interest of collaboration, with the mindset of a collaboration. How I do that is when I negotiate contracts, or I'll say I'll bring the lawyers. So let's say we do it on the Google document, and 2 company lawyers and the project or product managers come together, and 4 of us sit down, work on the same document, and talk things out. So we work on a collaborative mindset rather than, okay, I protect your interest, you protect your interest. I don't compromise on certain things. So sometimes we need to discuss and make sure that we can work on the same platform with a mindset of collaboration. And lastly, responding to change over following a plan. So in this environment, I think things change very fast. The environment changes fast, and many of us experience change, especially in this pandemic era, where technology and work from home. So there's a lot of changes. I used to work 100% in the office. Now that I work from home, and things change. How can we improve our working style while people stay at home? How do we incorporate flexible working environments in this pandemic? So this is the 4 core values. Sorry. Just 1 second. I move forward too fast. Okay, I want you to remember these 4 core values. This is the essence of Agile. So if someone asks you what is Agile, you tell them Agile is a mindset, and Agile is these 4 core values. And if you are able to practice these 4 core values, you might not know what is Scrum, you might not know what is Kanban, but if you say that I value individuals over interaction and interaction, I value working product over comprehensive document, I value customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and I value responding to change over following plan, I say you are Agile. There's no need for you to do daily stand-up. There's no need for you. But I say, as long as you practice these 4 core values, you are Agile. Next, I'm going to introduce you to the House of Lean. So let's take a look at this picture. Let's start off when we build a house. We start off from the foundation. So let's take a look at the foundation. Foundation is called Lean Agile Leadership. So in any Agile transformation, I personally feel that leadership buy-in is the #1 criteria for a successful Lean or Agile transformation. If there's no leadership buy-in, it's going to be very difficult for an organization to do Agile transformation. So the mindset of the leaders, the decision-making, the model of the Lean Agile mindset, daily activities needs to incorporate into the culture of the organization. So it starts off from doing repetitive Agile habits. So repetitive habits become a culture. So the company culture, the leadership mindset is very important. And the roof of the house, let's take a look at the roof of the house, is the value. So any organization, any solopreneur, for example, small business, even as an employee, you need to bring value. So what kind of value are you bringing to your customers? Are you thinking from a customer point of view? So how do we bring sustainable delivery of value, best quality of value to the people and society? So these are the foundation, agile leadership, as well as we think always customer-centric and bring value. But how do we do that? There are 4 pillars. The number 1 pillar, I call it the door. So to achieve that, we need to open a door. The door is respect for people and culture. So as a leader, as an agile practitioner, so you need to respect people and culture. So we come from, I believe, everyone in this webinar come from different parts of the world. I come from Singapore, some are in the UK, some are in the US, some from India. So can we, when we work as a team, now probably we are on the same platform, we are working as a team, can we respect people? Can we respect each other's culture, a generative culture? People do, remember, human beings do all the work, and your customer is whoever that consumes your work. So we want to build long-term relationship and trust, and we change and we improve the company culture over time, but with the basis of respect for people and culture. And lastly, and the next one is flow. Flow in a Japanese, I want to teach you a Japanese word called heijunka, meaning consistent flow. So can we, in Waterfall, that's when I do Waterfall, I didn't experience consistent value delivery. So what I do is that we work for 3 months, we work for 6 months, boom, we deliver the value at the end. But in Agile, we try to do sustainable value delivery. Can we deliver value in 2 weeks, in every month? And we ensure built-in quality. When we deliver value, we try to maximize the quality, and we learn from our mistakes, and every iteration we try to improve on whatever we have built in the previous iteration. So that's flow. We don't want things to be too fast, we don't want things to be too slow, we want it to be just on time. They make consistent flow. And the third pillar is innovation. So we want people to think out of the box, to come up with creative ideas, and to experiment, and not afraid to fail. So if you are a leader, and if you are a project manager, or if you are a Scrum Master, if you don't allow people to do some form of controlled experimentation, so, and you don't welcome creative ideas or creative solutions, then it's very hard for you to come up with, you are doing the same. For example, if developing app, if there's nothing innovative, we just an app that's similar to every app in the market. So can we bring out the best in your team to allow them to have creative ideas, do some experimentation, and allow success and failure. So failures, how do you react to failure as a leader? So this is very important when it comes to experimentation and innovation. When it comes, how do you react to failure as a leader? And lastly is relentless improvement. So what is relentless improvement? In a Japanese term called Kaizen, continuous improvement. What is the difference between relentless improvement and continuous improvement? I interpret relentless improvement as, for example, I do data science. When we reach, maybe we reach 80% accuracy level in a prediction model. So we do, let's say we predict whether Timing is going to be wearing blue shirt today. So maybe, so I have a accuracy of 80%. So every time I predict some colors, and I'm 80% correct. And That's the limit I can go. So, but however, we know that there's a different approach that we can improve this 80% accuracy to maybe 95% or 98%. But in data analytics field, 80% is really very good. 75% is fantastic. So how much we have invested maybe $1 million in this model, and are we relentless improvement? Are we willing to destroy, or not say destroy, revamp the whole model? We put in another 1 million to increase it to 85% to 90% or 95%. So that's relentless improvement. Improve at how to say, any situation and to solve problem. And the three pillars, the flow, innovation, relentless improvement, all depends on one thing. Depends on the door. So respect for people and culture. When people don't feel safe, you punish people for failures. When you don't respect other people's and you don't respect other people's culture, in your team, there's no psychological safety. So people don't feel safe to voice out creative ideas. Don't feel safe to voice out controversial ideas. Don't feel safe to say no, or don't feel safe to introduce something that's different. Then it's very hard for you to have a flow, to have innovation, to have relentless improvement. How do, as a leader, and as you may be a project manager, you may be a company leader, you may be a leader at home. So how do you make sure that people are psychologically safe to voice their opinion, to try something different, to try something new, and to welcome failure? So that's very important. So this is key aspect, the 4 core values and the house of Lean. This is the number 1 point I want you to bring back. So this is a picture of Rugby. So you may be wondering, why am I putting this picture here? I purposely put it here because this is where Scrum comes. So they are doing a Scrum, so where 2 teams come together and I say maneuver as a team to get the possession of the ball. But let's put the jersey colors aside. Let's put the blue color jersey aside. Let's put the red jersey aside. So we think that they are one team. And from there, I see 3 persons. I see 1 Scrum Master, I see 1 product owner, and I see 1 developer team. So you may be confused now, but let me go on further. So later I will discuss why do I see 1 team. Okay, let me introduce you to the Scrum process. So there are 3 roles: product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team. So product owner, the baby of product owner is the product backlog. So product backlog makes up, what makes up the product backlog? The user stories. And who crafts the user stories? The whole team. So the development team, the Scrum Master, the product owner, together, the Scrum Master will facilitate in creating these user stories and to prioritize these user stories, and the development team will do some estimation. So, but the baby of product owner is the product backlog. And there's the product meeting, I call it the product planning, the sprint planning. So the Scrum Master will facilitate the product owner and the development team to prioritize and to take out the user stories and decide together as a team which are the user stories that we are going to complete or we are going to embark on in this sprint. Then we go into the sprint. The sprint can be 2 to 4 weeks. So in every day in these 2 to 4 weeks, there's something called a daily stand-up. The daily stand-up is, for me, I always keep it at 15 minutes. For daily stand-up, there's 3 important things that you need to take note. So daily stand-up, the number 1 purpose of daily stand-up is for many people think that is progress update. So you update on what I have done yesterday, what I'm going to do today. Are there any roadblocks or impediments? And when there's roadblocks and impediments, the Scrum Master, the team swarm together to solve that roadblock and impediment. But however, I want to tell you besides process update or progress update, Scrum Master, this is the best time to sense the morale of your team. So how is the team morale high, or are they low? Can we, if it's low, can we introduce something that's maybe outside of work? Can we address this low morale? So it's a good time to sense the morale. And besides that, it's a good time to constantly remind that of the team spirit and to achieve the common mission, that is to deliver value. So in a daily stand-up, don't focus just on progress update, but as a Scrum Master, sense the morale and align everyone towards a common mission. It's a constant reminder. We forget, I forget. So it's a team. The team remind each other to work together as a team. So in the 2 weeks to 4 week sprint, once it's done, we'll do something called the sprint review. Sprint review is slightly different from sprint retrospective. Sprint review will maybe include the management, the final users, stakeholders. We'll do a demo to them. So in Agile, we value working products. Remember the working product. So how to ensure that we are delivering a working product is to do demonstrations. We show the function, we show the app to the final users, let them play with it or play with the new feature. So we integrate, for example, different teams may work on different things. So we integrate the whole process together and we show them a demonstration. So that's sprint review. Sprint retrospective is slightly different. Sprint retrospective is where the whole team sit down together, the product owner, the Scrum Master, and the development team sit down together and do a reflection. So this is when the psychological safety is really important. People, the development team, any member in this Agile team must be comfortable in voicing out what are the drawbacks, what are the good points, what are the negative points, and decide on what will be the next action to take in the next sprint. So that's where the psychological safety come in. And people needs to be able to voice out what is not working well and what is working well, and give innovative solutions, see things from a different perspective. That's when the whole team work together to deliver value. That's where the value we want to use the intelligence and the brain of our members. And one way for them to do that is to embrace different voice, different ideas, give them psychological safety. So in a typical Agile team is 5 to 11 members. So some teams may be slightly bigger, some teams may be slightly smaller, but the comfortable range is 5 to 11 members. That's Scrum process. So let's go into product owner. When I first come in contact with Agile, I asked the trainer, why is it called product owner? So why is it not called like project manager? And so I found out that product owner, as the name suggests, he or she owns the product. You may be confused. So we see product owner as a stand-in representative for the end user. So we can imagine product owner as an on-site customer. So this is a very smart, smart position. The product owner must understand the needs and wants of our customers. So at the end, the Agile is all about delivering value to our customers. So the key concept, the key is customer-centric and deliver value, constant, sustainable value delivery. So product owners act as a stand-in customer or on-site customer, where he thinks and behaves like the customer. So in that way, we ensure that whatever that we build, is what customer needs or wants. So that's where how the name of the product owner comes about. So this is the second point, key point that I want you to take away. So in our team, if there's a product owner, he or she should behave like a customer, think like a customer, because at the end of the day, for product, a product is for the customer. So let's go back to the basic again. We know what is project, set of tasks, but what is a product? So a product is the item offered for sale. A product can be a service or any item. It can be physical or virtual. So below are the three items that are all product. But I want you to know the difference. So a project is a set of tasks, but a product is offered for sale. When you offer something for sale, it must be of value. People must be willing to buy. Why people are willing? Why do you buy iPhone? Why do you buy certain brands of bags? Let's say, why do you buy certain brands of wallet? So because you see value. So if a product that is of no value, there will be no market. You don't buy brands, phone brands, let's say Motorola, other brands that in the market anymore, because maybe some of us don't see value anymore. We value smartphones, iPhones. So for that's a product must give value to our customers. So a product is is the item that offer for sale or for value. So what is the product owner's responsibility? Maintaining the team backlog. So that's his baby, team backlog. Iteration planning together with the development team. Just in time story elaboration. So in Agile, we use something called the applied behavior driven development. That means we use user stories. We think from the perspective of our users. So for example, as a client, for example, you're using an e-commerce platform. So as a client, as an e-commerce platform user, I want to be able to compare different prices of the same item or the same category, so I can pick the most appropriate item for me, or the cheapest item for me. So then we know that, okay, we need to put in a price or feature comparison capability in our e-commerce platform. So we craft these user stories based on the user's perspective. So, and we do something called the acceptance criteria, and as well as the definition of done. And we must understand what is enabler work. So for example, enabler work meaning that if for one user story to be completed, you need to do something before. For example, when you need to build an app, so you need to set up maybe the coding environment first. So there's the pre-work that you need to be done, the infrastructure, the system that needs to be done before you go on to build the app. And product owners participate in team demo and retrospective. So this is the responsibility of the baby of a product owner is the user stories and the team backlog. So coming back to Scrum Master again. So Scrum, the picture on the left, what it is a Scrum Master? This is the last point I want you to take away. Scrum Master is a servant leader. So the product owner, you may be thinking the project manager in a project, in a traditional project management, the project manager is the leader. And some of us might, even I, when I first started, I would think that product owner is the leader, but actually no. The Scrum Master is the servant leader. So yeah, the Scrum Master is a multi-talent person. He or she needs to be the coach, needs to be the teacher, and needs to be the facilitator. So I want to highlight, there's a slight difference between coaching and teaching, or I call it teaching mentoring. So what is coaching? Coaching, as a coach, I don't provide answers to the team. I draw answers out from the team. So I ask powerful questions to let the users or the members how to say, come up with answers from within themselves. So the team come up with their answers. So I ask powerful questions. While mentoring is slightly different. Mentoring is I give you the answers because I've gone through this and it works. So I tell you, probably you should take this path, that path, and what the next step. So that's mentoring. And lastly, facilitating means you facilitate your daily stand-up or sprint retrospective or backlog refinement. So moving into the picture on the right side, coming back. So this is the Scrum is happening, removing all the colors. I see the guy, the referee, as the Scrum Master. So he or she sets the stage, the framework, the rules, ensure that everyone plays on the rule of psychological safety, the rule of Agile, the value of Agile. So he or she ensures that the value, the principles, everyone abides to the value and the rules. And the guy standing up, the blue shirt guy, I see him as a product owner. He represents the customers, maybe the audience standing at the back in the stadium, and the players in blue and the red shirt in the Scrum are the developers working together. So I see this. Probably you see different things, but this is how I interpret this picture. So what is the responsibility of a Scrum Master? So on the picture on the left side, a Scrum Master is like an orchestra conductor, guiding a group of individuals to create something that no one of them could create alone. How do you create an let's say we do authentic like Amazon? You're not going to create that alone. You need a team to create alone. So this Scrum Master is a conductor where it brings the whole team together to produce a piece of beautiful music. When a Agile is done correctly, it becomes a play. It becomes enjoyable because everyone feels comfortable to be in this team. Everyone feels comfortable to voice their ideas, and everyone help each other. So it becomes a play. It's not the work anymore. So when at the end of your product development, if your team member come to you and say, thank you, I enjoyed the whole product development process and I miss it, I want to work with you together, then I can tell you, you are a successful Scrum Master, or at least a product owner, or the whole team is a successful Agile team. Well, if in the end, if your team come to you and the team members don't even say goodbye to you at the end of a product development and everyone leave on a very unhappy note, then probably it's not Agile, because Agile is supposed to be fun, supposed to be everyone's supposed to be comfortable to share ideas and collaborate and help each other out. So a Scrum Master must exhibit lean Agile leadership support. So create the rules. So I see it as a referee. Facilitate the team progress towards the team goals. So every sprint will set the sprint goals, and to lead the team effort in relentless improvement. So he or she will facilitate events. So the different events or ceremonies, we call it in Scrum. So there's backlog refinement, daily stand-up, sprint retrospective, sprint review, sprint planning. So and supports the product owner. So when the product owner create user stories, and the Scrum Master will help to refine the user stories to make sure that the development team and the product owners, they understand the user story in the same perspective. Sometimes when we interpret words, for example, the Scrum picture that I show you, you do a different interpretation. But Scrum Masters are able to align everyone and interpret that picture in the same manner. So to ensure that whatever the product owner wants, the development team is able to deliver the same thing that what the product owner wants, because the product owner represents the customer. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we deliver value to the customers. So facilitates the removal impediments and build a high-performing team, coordinates with other teams. So in large-scale Agile, we are a team of 11, but there are different many other Agile teams working towards the same solution. So Scrum Masters need to liaise with, work together with other Scrum Masters to ensure that, what are the dependencies. Probably Team A need to depend on Team B to complete certain tasks. Team B need to depend on Team C to complete certain tasks. So can the Scrum Masters sit down together and to decide, okay, which are the user stories or features or epic to be put in the first sprint, so that we get the dependencies out of the way, so that once we finish this sprint, Team B can start to work on the next stage. So facilitates preparation and readiness of agile release train events. So when we do PI planning, Scrum Masters play an important role to coach, to teach, to mentor the team on how to be part of this PI planning, and supports estimating. So we need to estimate efforts, help the developers as well as the product owners to estimate the effort needed in the certain user stories. How long are we going to take to finish user story? Is this user story able to fit in this sprint? Or the user story, is it too big? Can we break down into more smaller pieces? So that's the responsibility of a Scrum Master. So why do we need Scrum Masters? Sadly, many organizations take the shortcut. They say, I don't need a Scrum Master. A product owner will double up as a Scrum Master. Then probably you can ask these questions. You can ask, who ensures the best practice of product management? The product owner is not going to ensure the best practice because he represents the customers. All he wants is of product of quality. He doesn't care about whether the developers are burning out. He doesn't care about whether the sprint retrospective is done. All he cares about is make sure the product developed is what the customer needs. So who keeps all parties well informed and on track? So maybe the Scrum Master needs to be able to draw information, let's say from the product owner, draw information from the development team to ensure that everyone has the same understanding, same alignment, and there's any difficulty, let's share it together with the team, and the team can solve that together. So, and who introduced agile engineering practice? For example, user stories, acceptance criteria, features epics, and who ensures the effectiveness of the Scrum team? So when people ask you, can product owners and Scrum Masters be the same person? And you should be able to decisively say no, because there will be a conflict of interest. The product owner owns the product, but the Scrum Master owns the process. So there's different job scopes, different responsibilities, and different priorities. So you need to be able to, if you are a business owner, if you are a leader, if you're in an organization, I hope you take away this point that do not take shortcuts. You need someone to be the referee in a football match, in a rugby match, in, let's say, in any sports. So just like a referee, you cannot remove the referee. If you remove the referee, there are no rules. Anyone can just use whatever method in that sport. And we are coming to the end. So let's do a comparison, side-by-side comparison of project manager, product owner, Scrum Master. So the project manager focus on one thing, is delivering the project on time within budget. So that's the main focus of project manager. And the key skills that he or she needs to use is leadership, time management, and risk management. So make sure that the project is delivered on time and within the budget. And main duties is to manage the project organization, monitoring measuring the project progress, and manage the team management. And the responsibility of a Scrum Master is to implement Scrum and team productivity. So he or she introduces Scrum and uses agile knowledge. So need to be able to know how to facilitate events, how to do backlog refinement, how to ensure the values of the agile, the ceremonies of agile or events of agile are being held in a correct manner. So Scrum Master is a servant leader. So serving the team, removing impediments for the team, and leading the main duty is to lead the team in implementing Scrum. That's the Scrum guide. So that's how it is a guide. It is a guide, but then you have the capability to adjust it to your team needs, organization needs. So planning the Scrum implementation and implement change to increase productivity. And lastly, the product owner ensures product quality. He or she is the stand-in customer, so ensures that the product will be of use to the final customer and of quality. So communication, negotiation skills could be with communicate with the stakeholders, the end users, maybe negotiate with the development team, for example, to ensure that we want certain features to be done up first, or to prioritize certain features. Decision making to decide which are the features, which are the user stories that I want it to complete, because this is of the highest value to the customers. So that's what we think of, what the customer, the product owner think of. And of course, marketer skills, convincing. And the main duties of a product owner is maximize the value of the product, standing customer, and take care of the highest product quality. Make sure that the end product is of quality to the customer, customer centric. So if the product owner doesn't accept the finished product, then I'm sure the stakeholders, the end users, they're not going to accept it as well, because they don't see it as value. So remember, the product is an item that is for sale. In order to sell that product, people must see value in the product. So you must deliver value, and how to deliver value is of quality. So provide direction to the product, because product owner is supposed to know the customers from knows the customer well. So towards the future, so many companies are moving towards agile, because agile allows them faster to market. So we don't need 9 months, 12 months, 2 years to launch the product. So once in every 1 month or 2 weeks, in a standard sprint is 2 weeks, in every 2 weeks we roll out the feature, and we learn from the customer. We want to hear from the customer feedback. So maybe we have 10 features. First 2 weeks we roll out the first feature, and we learn from the customer, and customer give us feedback. We bring back the feature for improvement, or is accepted, then we work on the second feature. So there's early return of investment and constant feedback from real customers. So we know that maybe the customer say, oh no, this is not what I exactly want, and or maybe I have changed my taste. I've changed my taste and preferences. So can we modify the product to fit the needs of the changing needs of the customers, or changing needs of the situation? And lastly, to build a better culture and morale. This is very important, because at the end of the day, who serve your customers? If you are the boss, if you are the leader, you don't serve the boss. You don't serve the customers. You serve the team. Your team serves the customers. So in Agile, we want to build a culture of respect, mutual respect and understanding, and to make sure that the morale of the team stays relatively consistent and high, so that when people are happy, when your employees are happy, when your members are happy, they deliver value to your customers. So Scrum Masters, you are a servant leader. You serve your team, and the team serves the customers in return. So the leadership styles. So in a traditional project manager, the leaders give the direction. So there's hierarchy. Maybe there's assistant project manager. There's a portfolio lead. So we look up in a traditional team. We look up to one person, project manager, to lead the team. But in the agile team, the Scrum Master or the product owner, the developer sits in the on the same table. There's no, everyone looks towards in delivering the value, the final value to the customer, looks towards in completing their mission in their product. So the Scrum Master or the product owner sits with the team, acts as the Scrum Master acts as a servant leader and facilitator. So there's no hierarchy. Everyone plays a different function in an agile team. So we are finishing off. It's 7:50 on my side. I just want, if you like what I have taught and if you enjoy what I've said, I will be teaching 2 courses coming up. So one course is in the US timing on the March 15. So on Tuesday, March 15 to March 17, 9 to 5, 2 days course on leading agile. And on the second course is in New Zealand time, April 9. So if you are interested, I will post the link to in the chat box shortly after. So these are the 2 courses that I will be teaching on coming up, leading safe. So to finish off, you can, this is my LinkedIn profile. Please link up with me, follow me, communicate with me if you have any questions in Agile. And please go on to visit International Business Consultants website. There are many good courses, good Agile leaders in there to help you answer any queries and to bring your Agile career to new height. You have any questions, please type it in the chat box. I hope to answer it in the next few minutes. Okay, okay, let me take a look. Okay, I'll get back to one slide. Sure, no problem. Let me bring up the link. I can put in the link in the chat box. Oh, don't worry. I will send the recording link to you guys. So most likely we will either post it on YouTube or share it in a Google Drive to share. We will give you the recording. So this is the event registration. Okay, let's take a look at the question. How important is percent goal completion, percent of stories completed in sprint important? Is it a good metric to look at? If not, what metric can the team look at? Okay, you're talking about the velocity. We call it the velocity. So in Agile, there's no set rules, but there's a rule of thumb is you don't want to overload your team. So in terms of, so there's 3 things when you plan this goal, sprint goal or backlog goal. One thing is capacity. So capacity is how many members are there working in the in this 2-week sprint, for example. If you have 11 or 8 members, how many members are in working condition, meaning that they didn't fall sick, they didn't take leave, and you calculate that. So and you need to ensure that how many members are in working condition. There's capacity, how many people are working, and there's the velocity, looking at past data. For example, for 4 sprints, the previous 4 sprints, the team completes 30 user story points. Then you know that, okay, on average is around 30. On the high side, maybe around 45 story points. On the low side, around 18 story points, for example. So depending on the capacity, how many people are working, and looking at past data, how many story points the team completes, and you load the team not at 100%, at 85%, 80 to 85%. So let's say maybe 8 people are working, and the past story point is 30. So maybe, so at any one point, normal times is 8%, For example, and 2% is down, take leave or fall ill. So there's only maybe 5% or 6%. So you look the team at 85%. You want to maybe aim this sprint to complete 25 story points. So you need to estimate these three things: capacity, velocity, and the load. So that's how you do your sprint planning to make sure that we don't want to set a target that's not achievable by the team. Hopefully that's I answer your question. Okay, let me take a look. Is the presentation going to be shared? Yes, going to be shared. Okay, that's all that's reflected in Waterfall project done in Agile 2. Doesn't all that is done in iterations, and no matter what say they are Agile, essentially they do. Yes, okay. Many organizations say they do Agile, but actually in essence they are actually Waterfall. They are only Agile in name. So what is Agile? Agile is not sprint planning. Agile is not sprint retrospective. Agile is not sprint review. Agile is a mindset. Remember the 4 core values of Agile and the house of Lean. If you do that, you are Agile. Even you use Waterfall method, I say you are Agile. This is me. So if you are able to practice that value, everyone in the team practice that value, you are Agile. There's no need for you to use Kanban, use Scrum. So I hopefully the Agile is a mindset. Remember that. So make use of their values. So let me take a look at the other questions. Yeah, capacity, velocity, and load. So based on your presentation, I might suggest the role of project manager is still required, even if an Agile product owner and Scrum are focused on the performance view, but project. You have a point. You have a point. Okay, in Agile, we don't call it project managers anymore. We call it product managers. So the product managers manage the roadmap of the product. So there's one guy called product manager. It's slightly different from it's different from the from project managers. Probably we can discuss that in the future, but you are correct. You are correct. We normally in an Agile organization, there's something called a product managers. So if you look at probably next time I will show you what the difference between a product manager and a project manager. You are correct. Okay, how much you can handle? How fast? Yeah. How much you have to handle? Yes, correct. That's about the capacity, load, and velocity. Great product manager is more comparable to. Thank you. Okay, I think is there any questions that I have left out? I have 2 more minutes. Okay. Feel free to post your LinkedIn. This is a good time for you to network. So post your LinkedIn profile here, and then for us to connect.
Hi. Can I just get another quick question? Which tool will you recommend for using Scale Agile? Which one is your preference? Is the ServiceNow, the Jira Align, or what do you use?
Okay, this is a very good question. The official answer is depends on your customer needs, but on my personal experience, I use Jira, I use Confluence, I use Mural, and Miro. So these are the tools that I use. Jira to track the issues and the user stories. I use Confluence for when it comes to collaboration on documentation, and I use Mural to facilitate sessions. Mural and Miro to facilitate sessions. Does that answer your question?
Yes, you mean Jira Align or just Jira out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, yeah. Feel free to network and okay, we are coming towards the end of the session. Thank you for your feedback. The product manager role has existed alongside with role in traditional environment for a long time. They're complementary. Product manager. Okay, this is something new. Maybe Michael, you can private message me to let me know more. Yeah, I believe certain organizations are quite forward looking. They do have product manager roles. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for the participation, and I look forward connecting with you and for future webinars as well. Have a great day ahead, no matter where you are from. Yeah, it may be in the middle of the night, evening, or morning. I'm going to start my day, and it's a great way to start. Have a great day ahead. Cheers. Bye.